Orals for general, basic electricity. What is the most important law applicable to the study of electricity? Ohm's law. What are the elements of Ohm's law? Voltage E, current I, and resistance R. What are the four sources of electrical energy? Thermal, light, pressure, chemical, and magnetic. What does electrical circuit consist of? A source, resistance or load, and a conductor. What represents capacitance in an AC circuit? A capacitor. What is the function of a capacitor? To store electricity. What is the unit of measure for capacitance? A farad. What is the standard unit of measure for frequency? Hertz. What is the basic component that only allows current to flow in one direction? A diode. What is inductance? Induced voltage which is opposite in direction to applied voltage. What is an example of an inductor and a magneto? The coil. What is impedance? It's the total opposition to the flow of current in an electrical circuit. What causes opposition to the flow of current in an AC circuit? Resistance, inductive, and capacitance reactance. What is the unit of measurement for impedance? Ohms. What is the general purpose of a resistor? To limit current. How may the value of a small fixed resistor be determined? By the color bands on a resistor. What are two things that happen when current flows through a conductor? A magnetic field is generated, and the conductor heats up. What is the common name for the lines of force that make up a field surrounding a magnet? Magnetic flux lines. What is the concept that describes the relationship between electricity and magnetism? Electromagnetism. What are four factors that affect the resistance of an electrical conductor? The wire gauge, length, temperature, and material. What is the unit of measurement of power in a DC circuit? The watt. What is a kilowatt? 1,000 watts. In a DC circuit, what occurs when voltage is increased while resistance remains constant? There will be an increase in current. What are the three types of DC electrical circuits? Series, parallel, and complex. A 24-volt lead-acid battery has how many cells? Has 12. Each cell is rated at approximately 2 volts. What are the units that battery capacity are measured in? Ampere hours. What should the specific gravity of the electrolyte in a fully charged lead-acid battery be? It should be between 1.275 and 1.300. What instrument is used to determine the specific gravity of electrolyte in a lead-acid battery? A hydrometer. Why can a hydrometer not be used to determine the charge of a nickel-cadmium battery? The specific gravity of the electrolyte in a nickel-cadmium battery does not change enough for it to be noticed. When using a hydrometer to check the charge of a lead-acid battery, at what temperature must a correction factor be applied to the reading? Below 70 and above 90 degrees. What is electromagnetic induction? It's the transfer of electrical energy by means of a magnetic field. How are battery compartments protected against corrosion? By a protective paint or a special corrosion-resistant paint. It's called bituminous paint. What should the correct electrolyte level in a properly serviced battery be? It should be approximately 3/8 of an inch above the plates. What are paralleling generators and how is the load distributed? When two or more generators are operated at the same time to supply power for a load that must be shared equally. Describe a no-trip circuit breaker. It's a breaker that makes it impossible to manually hold the circuit closed when excessive current is flowing. Can you store NiCad and lead acid batteries together? No. The fumes from the lead acid battery will contaminate the NiCad. What is the result of an imbalanced cell in a nickel cadmium battery? Low internal resistance, and the heat, it causes the heat to go up. What happens to specific gravity of the electrolyte in a lead acid battery when temperature changes? The gravity reading on the hydrometer will vary with temperature variations. What is the difference between a permanent and a temporary magnet? When external magnetizing force is removed, permanent magnets retain their magnetism for an extended time, whereas temporary magnets quickly lose most of their magnetism. What is one of the most frequent cause of damage to solid components and integrated circuits? Electrostatic discharge, ESD. In regards to batteries, what is an SLA battery? Sealed lead acid battery. How would a technician connect a meter in a circuit to read its current? By series. What is one advantage of an AC circuit over DC circuits in an aircraft? AC can be transmitted over long distances more readily and more economically. Circuit breakers will operate more satisfactorily at altitudes. AC devices are smaller and simpler. Most 24-volt aircraft systems have special equipment that require a certain amount of 400 cycle AC current. What is the basic unit of the measure of inductance? Henry. What component can change the electrical energy of voltage to a different level of energy? A transformer. What does the acronym LED stand for? Light emitting diode. Describe a basic AND gate. It's a standard logic symbol that has two inputs or more and one input. When using a multimeter, what setting or type of check is typically used to determine an open in a conductor? Continuity. What component can transform alternating current into direct current? A rectifier. Name the two types of batteries commonly used in modern aircraft: lead acid and nickel cadmium. What is a specific gravity check of the electrolyte in a nickel cadmium battery not acceptable to determine battery charge? The electrolyte special gravity does not change with the state of charge. What are two reasons that might cause nickel cadmium battery to fail to deliver its rated capacity? Faulty cells and cell imbalance.